Time to get yourself all dressed. Time to get your shiny dance shoes on. Cause everybody's jumping at Jack's. All the kids are coming down just to dig the swinging sound. You can hear the band from miles away. Cause everybody's jumping at Jack's. Here's a little well-known secret. Sure as there's the sky above,
nothing could be any sweeter
than dancing with the one you love. When life is like a sour note, here's a happy antidote. Come to where the party never ends. Cause everybody's jumping at Jack's.
A very emotional moment for me. When I sold Steamers, I had figured this was the end of Steamers.
The day that I found out that Steamers is coming back and at this amazing place, CryptoJazz, I was like the best Christmas gift.
When Terrence Love from Steamers and Jax kind of combined to create these Steamers Jazz Nights, it just seemed like the most perfect thing to have happen. The whole musical community here is excited about that.
Seeing, wow, what a lovely place. It's got beautiful sound, light, video, everything, and the food was fabulous. And they were doing the thing right.
One of the things that I love most about CryptoJazz is when the sound system and the stage is so beautiful, the best musicians in the world want to play there. I talk to musicians and I go, hey, you want to come down and play with me at CryptoJazz? CryptoJazz, yes.
Well, I've been all over the world and I've seen a lot of different musical environments. The talent here is so off the charts. I mean, it's hard for people that aren't from here to understand how good here is.
Only the best musicians, all the time. It's one of the things I want to do is present the music in the greatest way. I want the musicians to feel welcome. I want them to feel at home. I want them to feel like they're just not background music.
The team here has just made so many efforts to not only bring the musicians and the audience together like Terrence was doing for so long, but to do it at a really high quality. I've been doing clubs for, again, more years than I care to count, and this is a very rare example of of how a music venue can run and be set up. And I feel nothing but care is given to what we're trying to present here and how we're trying to present it.
Really is recapturing that magic. There's an electricity. You know something special is happening and you're a part of it. And that's what I love about walking into Campus Jax. Steamers Jazz is back, and it's at Campus Jax.
Steamers Jazz at Jax. Renowned vocalist Sarah Vaughan holds a prominent place in the halls of jazz royalty. Nicknamed by her peers Sassy and the Divine One, Miss Vaughan won 4 Grammy Awards, including the Lifetime Achievement Award, and was given a National Endowment of the Arts Jazz Masters Award. Critics acknowledged she had one of the most wondrous voices of the 20th century. Each year, an exceptional rising star is bestowed a highly prestigious award that bears the name of this legendary jazz icon. Please welcome to the stage, co-host of this year's festival and the 2020 winner of the Sarah Vaughan International Jazz Vocal Competition, Tawanda.
Hello, everyone. Oh, checking, testing. I'm gonna raise this up just a little bit. Hi, how are we doing this afternoon? It's still light outside. This is wonderful. So hello and welcome to the final day of the 2nd annual CryptoJazz Festival. This festival is presented by Resonance Records and MetaJAX. Let's give them just a little hand. Love you all so much. It's been a marvelous last few days of absolutely superb music, and this is the very last one. I had the immense privilege of performing last year and a few days ago and today as well. And this fall, my debut album is releasing on Resonance Records too. So we're very, very excited about it. Thank you. Thank you. My very first one. I'm so excited and honored to sing with Tony and the beautiful band we have for you. And now I'd like to welcome my festival co-host. You've already heard his story on the previous video, Terrence Love.
Hey, Tawanda.
Hey.
Doesn't she look great? Are you guys ready for some great jazz this afternoon? I can tell you it's been wonderful, and I personally want to thank everyone at the Barclay and involved in this, George Claben and Campus Jax, of course, and we're really excited about this. And how many of you guys know me from Steamers? 1 or 2 of you. Well, after about 30 years being in the business of losing money in jazz, I'm still here, you know, and that's the question I ponder all the time. How can I possibly make any money? And, you know, on all this time I've been doing this, in the last couple of years I've been hearing about this crypto and meta and all this stuff and Bitcoin, and, you know, I don't know anything about it, but I think she does. Would you like to tell us a little bit about it, please?
I would. Yes. So crypto, you know, this is a wonderful opportunity for many of these excellent artists to get extra support, garner extra support, which is exactly what we're looking for in the world of live music and jazz specifically. So tonight's performance will be filmed and recorded, and then these very same performances that you're witnessing right now will become unique vignettes that will live forever in the digital realm, called NFTs.
So I think you'll be able to get them at some point. I'm not sure. Anyway, we've had an incredible show so far, or festival so far. We had Eddie Daniels, Roger Kellaway, Peter Erskine on Thursday. Friday night, Gordon Goodwin and his big fat band was here. And then last night, New York Voices, and every single show was phenomenal. And this afternoon, we've got another incredible show. One of my partners in crime here in jazz is Tony Guerrero. Yeah. And a criminal he is. But no, him and I go way, way, way back, but tonight or this afternoon, he's going to do an interpretation that is comes from his Latin and Italian heritage called ABRAZO, right? ABRAZO, and Tawanda will be featuring it, and it's going to be a great show. But for those of you who don't know, Tony is also an incredible artist, and he does some mid-century stuff that is really, really cool. And there's all sorts of stuff out in the lobby. You want to check it out. And let's see, without any further ado, let me see if there's anything. Yeah, you could see the other side of Tony. And I thought they meant the other side of Tony, but they meant his art. So anyway, Tawanda, anything else?
That was a really good one. I can't wait for today. It's going to be wonderful. MetaJAX and Resonance are committed to capturing live jazz performed at the absolute highest level. Right now, we're going to hear about an exciting project from Resonance Records and our other sponsor, Players Vodka. Thank you.
I was called by Alan Grant, a DJ on WABC-FM. He asked me if I would be willing to record a new band put together of all-star jazz musicians under Thad Jones and Mel Lewis. They were going to play the first time on February 7th, 1966 at the Vanguard in New York. And I only had 6 microphones, a 2-track recorder, earphones, and some mic stands. Basically, that's all I had. Everything had to be done in the moment correctly. There was no sound check. They just set up and started playing. I was absolutely amazed. It was so special. It was as if I was hearing something new. It was brilliant. It was exciting.
Do you feel that Thad and Mel's group changed the way that big band performed and how composers wrote for large ensembles?
I don't think there's any doubt about it. I think that as far as playing through the music, everybody found a special place for all of those pieces of music, and Thad was still writing, still bringing in other stuff. And boy, when you think about those things, we all felt very privileged about it. I wasn't at all disappointed about anything, you know, just happy to be there.
Well, the personnel was great. I mean, the first note we hit was amazing right there, and Thad was amazed too. He'd never had his own band before like that, ever, you know, and it was coming together really amazing. And the first rehearsal started at midnight.
The audience was so respectful and just were awed by what they were hearing. We were awed by what we were doing. Everybody, including musicians, were awed every night. The music was so fulfilling, spiritually fulfilling.
Resonance Records is proud to announce the release of Thad Jones Mel Lewis Orchestra. This first official release of these recordings captured the Thad Jones Mel Lewis Orchestra in their opening night performance at the legendary Village Vanguard in New York City on February 7th, 1966. Also included in this package is a second performance taken place at the Vanguard on March 21st, 1966. This album is a deluxe 2-CD set and includes a 92-page book with essays and interviews from all living members of the Thad Jones Mel Lewis Orchestra, including Garnet Brown, Eddie Daniels, Richard Davis, Jerry Dodgen, Marv Doc Holliday, Jimmy Owens, Tom McIntosh, Jim McNeely, and John Mosca.
I think this is some of the most important music in the history of jazz, a new way to arrange music and write music for a big band.
Just a few of the diverse artists Tony Guerrero has worked with across his impressive career as a producer, arranger, trumpeter, and flugelhorn player include jazz legends Freddie Hubbard, Arturo Sandoval, Tom Scott, Joe Sample, and pop icons Paul McCartney, Chance the Rapper, and the Jonas Brothers. Today, Tony and his select group of musicians will share with us a rare live performance of ABRAZO. This work demonstrates Tony's love for music and is reminiscent of his Mexican and Italian heritage, consisting of soaring melodies and Latin rhythms popularized by some of his early heroes like Chuck Mangione and Art Farmer. Joining Tony as featured vocalist will be Tawanda. Please welcome to the stage, Tony Guerrero.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Thanks for being here on a Friday night on a Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. Thank you for being here. This is a special day for me because, as you may have seen from some of the advertising, I get to play music that is the music that made me want to be a musician. Not particularly the music that I wrote, but it's music that I wrote based on this early love I found for this style of music. And I can pinpoint it exactly. I was in the 9th grade, and that's my phone, excuse me, I'll just turn that off right now. Just shut that down right now. Oh, Mark, call your parole officer. I was in the 9th grade, and my junior high teacher, who really was the one that made me fall in love with music, he came up to our high school and started the first jazz band there. And one of the songs they brought in was, at the time I was really into rock and roll. It was all Zeppelin and Kiss for me. And by the time I got into high school, I was really into music, but I hadn't really found my place yet. And he came up to the high school, and the first tune he introduced us to was a song called "Children of Sanchez" by Chuck Mangione. And there's that song the opening, if you know it, the opening of that song is amazing. The melody is beautiful, but there's a bridge, and that bridge, I remember hearing that for the first time, and the melody on that bridge is so gorgeous, and it just captured my attention. That made me dive into this style of music, and it's not part of the set today. I should have planned that. But that style of music just really captivated me, and I got into Mangione, and then all the artists that kind of sounded like that, Earl Klugh, Art Farmer, all these others who were doing this kind of music, which is just this mix of Latin and Brazilian and Italian and all these beautiful pieces coming together. And so that's the music I've been trying to write. And I've been able to write this stuff and record it, but never present it all at one time. And we'll see if I can even make it through the whole show, because it's a lot of playing. So we'd like to do a song now that was from the first album I got to do that was of this style, was a record called Appassionato, and we're going to do the title track from that. And we'd like to feature Mr. Miles Jensen over there on the guitar. And I'll introduce everybody to you as we go. I was smart, I would have brought one of the hundreds of boxes of those still sitting in my garage to sell today. How about at this time I introduce the people on stage to you. I'm so excited to have all these people with me because when I first thought to do this is all pretty much everybody I wanted on this, and so I'm really excited that they are all here. And I'm going to introduce them in the order that I've met them. How's that? I'll end with who I've known the longest. So the newest relation here, Mr. Joey De Leon on the percussion right there. For those of you who have been attending all of these shows, you saw him with the Big Fat Band a couple nights ago as well. And back there on the drums, I should take a moment to introduce him this way. I mentioned Chuck Mangione earlier. I've actually known about Charles for many years, since the 90s, because he used to tour with Chuck Mangione back in those days. Yeah, whoa. Chuck owes somebody else money. Yeah. And not only that, but Chuck's first albums came out. What's happening down here? Came out when he was about 20 years old, back in the early '60s, and Charles's dad played drums with him back then. So it's all in the family. Mr. Charles Guerrero back there on the drums. Over the last couple of years, I've gotten the chance to play with this guy a lot, this amazing young guitarist who really is inspiring to play with, and we get to do a little quartet thing together. Please say hello to Mr. Miles Jensen. And if I were to tell you that this whole show was just an excuse to get to play and have Ginger on cello with me, I wouldn't be far from the truth, because I've wanted to do that for so long. Ginger Murphy on the cello. To my left, we have gotten to be good friends over the last 10 years or so. We've been doing a lot of touring together with John Tesh and Jane Lynch, and it all ends tonight. My good friend, Mr. Mark Vischer on saxophone. And finally, on the piano, we go back a long ways. We met in 1988 when we were playing another festival where there were multiple bands, and he came and started setting up with my band, even though he was on another band that day. And that's how we met. Mr. Bill Cantos right there. So the last couple of years or so, like many of us with COVID and so many other things, yeah. What? Did I forget the bass player? Oh my gosh.
How long have you known him?
The problem is I've actually never met him, so. Well, he would go right in between Bill and Mark, I think. This is my good friend, Mr. Lyman Medeiros. See? It was worth waiting for, right? A man who needs no introduction. Sorry. Anyways, over the last couple of years, like all of us, I'm sure, I've been dealing with personal loss and what's that? Memory loss. A little bit of memory loss. Where was I? What was I talking about? Anyways, just learning more and more, especially at my young age, about how life is a mix of learning to live with the good and the bad and just finding that balance. And I found this quote that just really struck me. And it's by an author, I don't know anything else about her. She's got a weird name, but it's C. Joybell C. That's her name. But I love this quote, and it's called, "The dance between darkness and light will always remain. The stars and the moon will always need the darkness to be seen, and the darkness will just not be worth having without the moon and the stars." And I just love that juxtaposition of dark and light and how they both kind of need each other to exist, like you aren't really aware of the other. And in that same way, we're aware of our joy when we compare it to our sorrow and vice versa. And anyways, just that thought and just kind of thinking about that idea, and I ended up writing this little piece of music that I called The Dance Between. And this actually was written during quarantine. I just recorded it at home and posted it because that's what we all did. Ginger on the cello here. So my dad was from Mexico, and we lost him this past year, and last year, not this year. And he was from a little town that we used to go to. In fact, I lived there when I was a toddler, but we used to go there almost every year. And it was a little town right in central Mexico, about, I don't know, I remember it as like a 6-hour drive from Mexico City through the mountains and 2-lane cliff roads, and we should have been dead a long time ago. And the town was called Jacala. And I wrote this tune a while ago, and as the problem with instrumental songs is if there's not a lyric, it's hard to come up with names all the time. And well, this song kind of had this sort of driving feel to me, and I thought that with the type of feel it was, that kind of reminded me of that, and I just kept coming back to the idea. So I just decided to call it Jacala, and the one time I heard it on the radio, of course, they called it Jackala. So however you'd like to hear it, that's this song. Phil Cantos on piano. All right, so one of the songs we're going to do that's not an original of mine is a song I heard just a few years ago, and I think it's such a gorgeous tune, and yet there's only maybe a handful, if that, recordings of it. It was written in the 60s. It's only been recorded by a couple people that I could find, and we have asked Tawanda to learn it just for today because it's such a pretty song. Please welcome to the stage, Tawanda. This is a song by a French composer named Francis Lai, and it's called Love is Stronger Far Than We.
We tell ourselves another season. We turn away and find a reason. We close our eyes to what we see. But love is stronger far than we. When we are close, the world is singing. And when we touch, the night is ringing. And there's no way to disagree. For love is stronger far than we. When hearts are meant for caring and lives are meant for sharing, and we are joined by destiny, for love is stronger far than we. Yes, we may say another season, may say goodbye and find a reason, but love decides how things must be, for love is stronger far than we.
Thank you so much.
Well, I don't know if you noticed on that last tune, but Tawanda can sing. And I don't know, did they announce it there? But she's got her first album coming out really soon. And so we're gonna break form for the night, and we'd like to feature Tawanda on one of the songs from her record. And it's really fast and hard, so I'm gonna leave the stage.
A cop-out. Yes, I want to just talk briefly, very briefly about my album. It's my first jazz album. Hey! It'll be out at the beginning of the fall, early fall, late summer, and it's called Smile. And I want to thank George Claben from Resonance Records for believing in me and allowing me to really sing those songs and practice those songs. The album is about love and dreams and happiness, and it was very, very hard to sing about all of those things in the past few years. So I had to really get into the studio every day and put aside a lot of the, the things that I was going through, a lot of anxious moments, a lot of depressed moments, and sing about joy, and it was really inspiring, and it was very healing for me as well. So thank you, George, and thank you, Tony, for letting me sing. It's a bit faster than that. No, that's good. A one, two, three, four. Ooh, woo, woo, what a little moonlight can do. Oh, ooh, woo, woo, what a little moonlight can do to you. You're in love, your heart's aflutter, and all day long you only stutter, 'cause your poor tongue just will not utter the words I love you. Ooh, 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 what a little moonlight can do to you. Oh, you better wait a while till you see a little moonbeam come peeping through. Yeah, you'll get bored, you can't resist him, and all you'll say when you have kissed him is ooh, boo, boo, doo. What a little moonlight can do. I'll be the lady doo, but we all be that all day. You're in love, your heart's aflutter, and all day long you only stutter, 'cause your poor tongue just will not utter the words I love you. Ooh, ooh, what a little moonlight can do to you. Yes, you better wait a while till you see a little moonbeam come peeping through. Yeah, you'll get bored, you can't resist him, and all you'll say when you have kissed him is ooh, ooh, boo, doo. What a little moonlight can do. Can do. Can do to you. Can do to you. Da-doo-doo-doo-doo. To
That's Tawanda. Lyman Medeiros back there on the bass. See, so far you've gotten 2 introductions. Charles Ruggiero back there on drums. I mean, not that Bill and Miles weren't working also, but. I've asked Tawanda to stay on, and we're going to do an instrumental tune, but I love having the voice join in on instrumental songs, so she's going to do this song with us. This is off an album I put out, well, actually, the title album it's called ABRAZO, and this song is called She Speaks to Me, and just a pretty little bossa nova. I hope you like it. I hope you like the music so far. Because if you don't, the next 3 hours are going to be a drag. No. Tawanda. She's not totally done yet. We're going to bring her out to sing again. So we'd like to do a song now, but before we do, I want to just introduce something. How many of you were able to check out the artwork? I have a little bit of artwork in there, but there's a lot of other artists represented. And in particular, I do want to draw attention to one called Handprints. That is, I have a charity that I helped found that deals with human trafficking. And this one artist, Kane, decided to take this piece of artwork and generate money for this charity. And the charity does is raises money for aftercare for human trafficking victims. And so I just want you to make sure to pay attention to that artwork, check it out, see how you can get involved with that. And the very first song we did tonight is a song called Amando, which basically means worthy of being loved. And I thought I didn't want to introduce that whole artwork before the concert started, but I think that song, that idea of these victims being worthy of being loved is very important, and so anything you can do to kind of check that out would be greatly appreciated. And we'd like to do a song now that is going to feature my friend Mark Vischer on the tenor saxophone. And this is the title for the concert tonight. This is called ABRAZO, which means, anybody know? It's like a hug, right? A warm embrace. And the band will be in the lobby giving out hugs after the... No, I'm just kidding.